Welcome, adventurers! What's going on, guys? My name is Cody. This is Taking 20, a channel about all things role-playing games. And today we are back with another call for aid as we have a game master that is running a game for 6 co-workers, but 2 of them are power gaming and causing issues in his game, and he's not sure what to do. And I've got some advice for him, so that's what I want to talk about today. I hope you guys are ready. Let's get started. Alright guys, before we jump in, I gotta give a huge shout out to all the kick-ass patrons over in the Taking 20 community. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for making these videos possible. I really appreciate it. And if you guys are not a part of that community, you want to support the channel, you can just shop on Amazon or do some other things down below. Alright, that's in the description. Now, let's talk about this letter that I got. Literally, it wasn't like really a letter, it was a YouTube message, but yeah, that's a lot of text. So let's talk about this. So this is from Level 10 Cooking. In essence, what he said was that he is GMing for a group of 6 coworkers. First off, kudos to you that you know 6 people that you work with that want to play in your game. 4 of which were loyal to the schedule. They want to role play and they get into the game. The chemistry with those are great. The last 2 are the ones that he's having a problem with. His more experienced friends say that he should just get rid of them, but he wants a fresh, neutral pair of eyes on the matter. And now I want to go in here and add this extra part because he wrote this kind of long form that says that the original 4 are more laid back and have backstories and are invested in their character, and they are taking a comedic approach, so they're having a good time, obviously, at the table. The other 2 are power gamers. They hurry, they want to find objects, and before he can describe them, they discard them, ignore them, and are trying to click on things to find out what is interactable in his room. That's a huge no-no. And the last part I wanted to put on here is that he said that one of the players is sexually harassing another PC, and that is pretty much the only role play elements that they are bringing to the table. Okay. All right, Level 10 Cooking, let me tell you something. I understand that you are trying to coddle and be nice because these people are people you work with, right? And this could affect other parts of your life if you just kick them out of the group. Now, I read in your letter that you have actually pulled these players aside and tried to talk with them. So I'm going to kind of break this down into a couple of sections of advice because all in all, the whole situation I have some advice for, but individually, I might tackle these things differently if they were separate. The first of which is power gaming. You're totally right to pull those guys aside. Now, I have on my agenda to do a power gaming video this week. So it's funny that you're bringing me and talking about this right now. I don't think power gaming is actually that bad for your game if everybody at the table is on the same page with it. And to me, it seems like that's not the case for this group. So it seems to me like their expectations of style of play is not meshing well, and that in fact can cause issues. So pulling them aside is the right thing to do. Now, knowing that you have pulled them aside and they are still having issues, I move on to the next phase of what I personally do, and what I would recommend to you is to give them a warning. So the first one is you talk about it. Like an adult, you bring it up with them. The second time you're having an issue with them, that's when I issue a warning and say, listen, this is still a problem. We've already talked about it. If you don't help me out or get on the same page, then I'm going to ask you to, step away from the game. This is your warning for that. And I don't want to do that. We're trying to work this out. So I need you to work with me. And that's a good phrasing that I would recommend you talk to your player and actually use in the conversation. I need you to work with me to make sure that everybody is having fun. If you relay that importance that they are the ones that is causing issues and that you need help from them, oftentimes that is a good way to broach a subject whenever you're having issues, especially something so minute as playstyle like power gaming. This is really a small issue that can typically be addressed, though admittedly that is not always the case. Now, here's the deal. The second part of this is a big fucking problem for me. Having sexual tension at the table from one player to another, and you have talked to them about it, which I read in your letter, it seems to me like you did bring it up with them. That is a huge fucking red flag, and that is not something that I tolerate at my table. It's bullshit and it needs to go. That is a major, major, major problem. That is a far bigger problem to your game than power gaming is. So my advice to you is you need to be right on top of that from the jump. Now, I understand these are coworkers and you're trying to be nice to those guys because, again, it could affect your life outside of the game. And for most people, the majority of people, D&D is not that big of a deal in their whole life. It's a hobby that they enjoy doing, but it's not the main focal point. That's totally reasonable for you to want to handle this with a nice kind of kid gloves, if you will. But sexual tension at the table, sexual harassment, as you put it, is bullshit. And that needs to go. So if I were you, I would pull that player aside immediately, today, tomorrow, way before the next game, and tell them, this is not going to happen at my table. If this is something that you are interested in continuing, you need to find another group. If I see you do this one more time, that will be it for you. You are out of the game. That is setting the right expectations with them with a warning, much like power gaming, that, hey, if this doesn't clean up, you are gone. But I would go a lot more firm with this than I would the power gaming. The power gaming, that's almost like a group discussion where a lot of times you could bring everybody together and say, hey, listen, we're having some playstyle issues here. What type of game do you guys want to see? Sexual harassment for another PC, that is unacceptable. It is not acceptable at my table, and that is where you as a dungeon master or game master are responsible to step in and clean that up out of your game. So that's how I would handle it, but I want to kick this over to the rest of you guys because we have a lot of awesome game masters and dungeon masters and players that have been playing for years here, a lot of experience with the community here at Taking20. So what do you guys think? Is power gaming a big deal? How would you handle it? Would you approach it with the group or would you approach it one-on-one? And how would you guys handle one PC role-playing and constantly sexually harassing another PC? Is that something that maybe is an age thing, or is that something that you guys would not tolerate at your tables as well? Let me know your thoughts so that we can get Level 10 Cooking some good advice on this and help him clean up his game. If this is your first time here and you love role-playing games as much as I do, I would love to have you subscribe. Every week I put out new videos on DM tips, player tips, tutorials, and more. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, just hit that subscribe button down below and come join us. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Cody, and as always, may your games be filled with awesome memories and even better friends. I'll catch you guys next time.